And we're live. Joining me here is BrutallyHannes. What's up, man?
Hi, how's it going?
It's going good.
It's funny because we've been talking for like the past 10 minutes, but we have to have another greeting.
I know. just for YouTube's sake, you know what I'm saying? People clicking on the video in the future, you know?
I actually just started a little early just because we had so much to talk about.
I don't know, for sure. But yeah, man, let's get right into it. We were talking about Godzilla before I clicked the live button, so let's jump right into that. I discovered you because I found your videos on why Godzilla King of Monsters is a god-awful film. So I discovered all those videos, which were very entertaining. Lots of funny edits in them. I highly recommend everybody go click on his channel and watch it. I'll find the link to it. I'll put it in the comments here. But yeah, man, that series is great. And I want to talk to you more about why that movie is bad. All right. Maybe.
Well, with a review that's longer than the actual movie, I can tell you I have a lot to talk about.
If you could sum it up. That'd be great.
I mean, where do you want to, like, the structure, the characters, the monster? The one I always throw out there that's just always just the fact that Godzilla fights in the movie 2 minutes and 37 seconds in the first 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's insane. Like, they marketed a Monster Rumble. Every single comment I see in the YouTube videos, everybody always says, like, oh, there was too much humans in the first movie. Now there's too much monsters in this. And I'm like, where? We were told about them. There's this guy who's been responding to my videos, and he put it really well, talking about the monster action. He was saying they are referring to the monsters more than they're showing them. It's almost like watching the movie with the screen off. I thought that was the best way to sum it up, because half the time we're being told there's monsters on screen, but they're not actually there. There's always some reason why we have to divert away all the attention from what's going on to some other manufactured situation. Antarctica, everybody's trapped in the helicopter. What are we going to do? I don't care. They can fall in. Get back to Godzilla. I'm here. Mm-hmm. Like, I grew up early 90s, so I got exposed to the Godzilla series around like age 8, early 2000s. And then since then, I was waiting for a decade for another Godzilla movie. We got 2014, but we all know that they were doing that Jaws thing where they were holding back on the suspense, which was fine. But still, I wanted more. Thank God for Shin Gojira. That was such a sobering, like, oh God, there can still be good monster movies. And then this. No one could have been happier than me when I first saw, like, King Ghidorah, Rodan, Mothra. All of them are going to be on the big screen. I was going around with bells in my heels. Everybody, you got to watch the Great Monster Rumble. Mm-hmm. And then I left with that shit sandwich taste in my mouth. And I'm like, but this is Godzilla. This can't be right. I saw it twice in theaters, and I was like, God damn. They did my boy dirty.
Yeah, man. I remember seeing it in theaters too that first time with my best friend that's also like a huge Godzilla fan. He's seen all the Toho films. Just a huge Godzilla fan. And the second the movie's over, like, he turns to me and says, like, well, that was shit. Like, and we both like laugh and we left, you know. But yeah, man, I was expecting, because that trailer, remember, for King of Monsters was like epic, right? It had that beautiful music on it. Showed all
over the rainbow, the hurricane coming in. Oh my God, what's going to happen?
And when you watch the movie, it's very nonsensical. You know what I'm saying? And the point you pointed out, the part where Rodan is flying over the city.
It's my favorite scene in the whole movie.
They lead him over the city. They could have led him in any other direction, but they decided to lead him over that.
Well, we got to set this up so everyone's aware of the whole situation here, because Emma is raising monsters with the orca because she wants to save the Earth. And she's like, how are we going to save the environment? Well, we're going to need the fire demon, obviously. So they fly to Mexico and release the fire demon. And before it can even do anything, they provoke it and then fly it over the city they're currently evacuating.
Yeah.
Just watch that scene. That's what's happening. But they never address that. It's almost like a comedy.
Yeah. It almost makes as much sense as the shot where King Ghidorah, I always call him King Ghidorah. I don't know. That's just like a translation thing.
Tomato.
Yeah, I know, right? But I always think about that shot with the cross, you know, and and you see King Ghidorah in the background, and you see the
Yeah.
cross. I always thought, like, what the fuck was the purpose of that shot? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they trying to
It's the
say?
rising of a new god. They're trying to, at least they're, you know what? I like that because at least they're trying to do something.
They're trying
You
to
know,
show
they're
some
like,
symbolism there, you know?
yeah, at least a little bit of, because like the whole movie, I'm just watching a bunch of sound stages and people telling me about what's going on, but not showing it. It's like, oh, you know, the whole world is burning right now. It's shown on this graph. I'm like, oh, wow, a graph. That's why I come to the movies, for a PowerPoint. How about you show me the monsters? Show me where the budget went, motherfucker.
Lemon and that's an interesting name. Logic and Godzilla movies. I know, right?
That's
some
the
of
thing
them
that
do
I hear a lot.
Yeah.
That's the thing that a lot of people argue with me when it comes to like any criticism of a Godzilla film. They're always like, "Oh, you're looking for logic in a monster movie." It's like, well, you see a movie like The Matrix or Star Wars, you have the Force of the Matrix. It's stuff that isn't real, but it has rules, and you kind of need to live by those rules in order to have a plot that makes sense around it. But in this movie, you have like the orca where it's like, I don't even know what it's capable of doing. It can just do everything. It puts him to sleep. It wakes him up. It pisses him off.
Yeah. And it can talk to them, but they just can't, tell them to like not destroy everything. I don't know, like
They don't really try it that much. Just only in certain times.
Yeah. Shin Godzilla, almost a Lovecraft horror. I would say that about Shin Godzilla too. And I remember seeing Shin Godzilla in theaters. It had a limited release here.
Yeah, that was good. I was at that one too. That was nice.
It was dope. And it really is a true like monster movie. Godzilla is a monster. Like he's not trying to protect anybody. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to destroy the city. And
that movie, just when you go to the atomic ray scene in that movie, everybody started going crazy at first as he started cutting in half all the buildings, and then everybody just went silent watching it. It's like, that's what you need. Like, you need to respect this thing, like it's engine of destruction. But he's always a prop in these movies.
100%.
Look at him getting slapped around the Kong trailer.
Right?
He doesn't look like a king.
Yeah, right. Godzilla. Why does King Kong look bigger in this trailer than he does in the other movie, the Skull Island movie?
Well,
that's always
like
strange.
his size changes in the duration of the trailer. Like when he's sitting on the boat, he looks smaller than he does when he's compared to the city.
And I don't understand how they're even standing on the aircraft carrier. Would that sink the aircraft carrier?
You know what? Yeah. I can let that go.
Just
the set piece, I can let that go. That's what, like, the thing I'm worried about, like, premise-wise, is, like, the axe. That makes me so nervous.
Right? A monkey with an axe. You know what I'm saying? Like, that totally levels the playing field. We got Godzilla who can breathe atomic breath. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they have to level the playing field, but they're really stacking the deck in favor of Kong. I mean, even the line in the trailer is saying the world needs him. It's like, well, then we kind of know who we're banking on here.
Even though Godzilla kind of saved the world twice before, like in these movies, if we're watching 2014 and King of Monsters, he saves the world twice. And then now he's the bad guy. You know what I'm saying?
I called that was going to be a thing, that they were going to, if they were going to suddenly make him the bad guy, it would just be weird and jarring, and we'd have to spend too much time trying to explain why. Like, they should have just started out with him being, at the very least, an anti-hero where he doesn't care and he just goes through buildings of people and who cares? He's never cared.
Right? He's a monster. I mean, he doesn't even see the humans in like every other Godzilla movie. He's not even concerned with it. They're like almost fleas, to him.
You see Godzilla 1985. You ever see that one?
Yeah.
His eyes are fixed at that certain level height where he's incapable of looking downward. And I think that was part of the design when they took that into consideration, that he's something that doesn't consider what he walks over. I don't get that vibe from this new guy.
I don't get it either.
I mean, they're doing their own thing. I can respect that, but I mean, they're not going to stick to it because everybody knows what they're showing up for a Godzilla movie for.
You're right. We're just here to see a Godzilla punch King Kong, right? I guess that's all people want. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you want to see the new Batman image today? Yes, Jose. And we'll get to that in a second. Everybody, calm down. Calm down. We will get to the images. I want to talk Godzilla though first because I have BrutallyHannes here. If anybody's noticed that, we have BrutallyHannes here. But yeah. What movie did you like better though, King of Monsters or the 2014 Godzilla? Because I feel like the 2014 Godzilla was like kind of truer to the original Godzilla in like the very first Godzilla you saw. Back in the day.
He did cause that tsunami when he came out of there, and that was kind of cool, like an elemental force wiping out a bunch of innocent people. Like that's more in his character. He seemed to not really care so much. It's just like in the second movie they started like pushing this he's the protagonist thing. But yeah, the first one I don't remember having a problem with it. I just kind of understood that I saw what they were going for. Like, they're trying to build him up. That's why they were holding back. And it's like, I've been waiting 10 years, but I see what they're trying to do. But if they didn't plan it out, like, they didn't know where they were going with it. If they had a plan, I could see it working out.
And remember, the reaction to the 2014 movie wasn't great. Like, I remember people complaining really hard about that movie, which was always shocking to me because, like, Bryan Cranston alone, even though he's in the movie for like 30 minutes, like that alone was pretty goddamn good. Like,
yeah, I was just like, all right. I was hoping for him to make the whole thing.
I know. That would have been great if, like, his character was like the main character for the whole series. That would have been really interesting. That would have been something that Godzilla movies never had, like an interesting character to care about. Like, you know,
we got what's her face? I know her actress's name, Megumi Odaka. Who'd she play? Miki Sagusa. She was all throughout the Heisei series. She was the one constant character that was all the way there. They just didn't really do much with her. She was always in like a different romance every movie and stuff. Like, but I see what you're saying. They have Serizawa for this, but he doesn't really do that much. He kind of observes, and then suddenly, like, is he in charge of Monarch?
I thought he wasn't he? Like, he's the guy who says let them fight, right? He's the isn't that the same guy you're talking about here?
Well, yeah, he's the let them fight guy. In the beginning, he was just like a scientist in a trench coat, just sitting back. But then suddenly, he's like attending Senate hearings. It's like, who is this guy?
Yeah, I want to say he's like a board member of the Monarch thing or whatever. That's been exposed. Everybody knows what Monarch is now. The whole world knows what Monarch is. They were a secret for like one movie.
One movie. I don't even know how they got exposed. There was 2 people.
Yeah, I know, right? Don't think about it too much.
That should be the tagline for the movie.
Don't think about it.
Don't think too much.
This guy right here, Reader Ops. People complaining about Godzilla 2014 are spoiled and impatient. Let the filmmakers build up the characters. Yeah, that's what they should have did. But they kind of didn't. They kind of didn't. The King of Monsters movie really let me down hardcore.
Yeah, because it just felt like the 2014, like they were definitely building up the characters, but it definitely felt like it was more concentrated about the Mutos than Godzilla. And now we're moving into the King of the Monsters, and the focus was definitely put on King Ghidorah, and Godzilla was just kind of following him around. Like, he's kind of being treated like a prop in these movies. Then you got the third one coming up, and it looks like it's more Kong centered. It's just like, give him a moment, you know? Give him some more time in 2014 to build him up a little bit more. Yeah,
and they're really setting it up like Khan is the good guy, the hero here, because he cares about a little Asian girl that they set up for just this new movie, right?
Oh, the little kids.
That's my problem. And everyone's like, just watch the trailer. Oh, I'm getting some feedback from your screen here. Hold on.
Oh, what? Am I echoing?
Yeah, a little bit. All
right, let me turn it down. Boom.
All right. What was I going to say? So, yeah, Khan, they set him up to care about this little Asian girl that they only created for this new movie. And people aren't seeing a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not good. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's lazy. They should
right now, there's a lot of potential for how she could be utilized. It's like, we'll see. I mean, she'll probably just serve like the same role we've seen 1,000 times over. But it's like, as long as it's not annoying and getting in the way, and there's a monster fight, but the little girl's hanging off a cliff. Someone's got to go save her. Let's follow this. If they use it all right, I'm fine with it. But it's just if they put too much focus on it, or if they just make it all about her, or she sings a song. God help me if she sings a song to wake up Kong.
She touches Khan's nose, you know, like Mothra. I can see Godzilla killing the little girl, and that's why Khan loses his shit.
They're not going to kill. You know, the foreign market will never let that girl die. Come on. She's got a market. There's no way. There's no kid's going to be dying in this movie.
I feel like if they did that, that would make logical sense as to why they're fighting, because Khan's like, you killed the one thing I care about. I mean, but yeah, you're right. They probably wouldn't do that because some of these characters are protected because they have to sell it in China. And, China. We got to sell it in China.
It's like they serve the purpose because I think that somebody in Hollywood thinks that, like, because I watched Godzilla movies as a kid, and a lot of them, I love the ones that didn't have kid characters. I think that someone in Hollywood thinks that a kid can only relate to a movie if there's a kid in it that he could be, which makes no sense. Like, you watch Star Wars, you're like, I want to be Han Solo. You're not like, I want to be little Anakin.
Unless you are like 6 years old watching the prequels for the first time, that might Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I just remember, like, as a kid, I didn't need like a child surrogate in the movie to be able to understand and enjoy the plot, you know. But it kind of nerfs all the stakes when you have a child that the plot is centered around.
100%. Oh yeah, because like you can't. It's tough to kill a kid, right? Without the movie being like R-rated, right?
Oh yeah, like even in the last one, they had to just like kind of imply his death off screen.
Right? They didn't even show the kid really. Like you saw a picture of him.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I don't even think they ever said the words like he died. It was always like, oh, you lost your son. Like it's always like some nice, safe language.
Oh yeah.
They wouldn't want to upset people with the idea of death as we murder 11,000 Islanders.
Watcher, what a flame war on Godzilla versus Kong last week. Like, what the fuck? Opinions are opinions. Hashtag. Like, thank you, Watcher. He's talking about my reaction video when I was kind of like laughing at the trailer, and I got like a bunch of dislikes.
Oh yeah, like, I saw that one. Yeah,
yeah. People are like, why are you taking it seriously?
Like, well, it's like, guys. It's like in a way though, I kind of got where people were coming from because I think that you've just been so let down by King of the Monsters that as soon as you saw the screen pop up, you were just like, ugh. And now look at and look at that. Oh God. Like, you know, I kind of went into it. I'm like, I don't want to let that venom overtake me. So it's like, let me just put all that out and just try to be objective about this. Like, 'cause I have to have some kind of optimism. This is the last movie, right? They got to salvage it. Just give me my fights. Just give me a good fight. I'll be happy.
I mean, we know Mechagodzilla is going to be in the movie, so it might not even be the last movie. It might be like it might be setting up
trilogy. They're going to do Godzilla Resurrection,
which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because Kings of Monsters did not make a lot of money. Like, I'm surprised like they even made Godzilla vs. Kong, but they made Godzilla vs. Kong because they were already like starting the production on that movie when Kings of Monsters was.
Oh yeah, like done. Before any real criticism could come out about the movie, they were already in development, which was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
so at least hear what the audience has to say before you just move ahead with a new plan.
Yeah, but they were so like into it. They're like, we just got to keep going. Like, you know.
Well, Godzilla's still in like the lexicon. Let's get all this stuff out there.
And this Godzilla vs. Kong, this isn't going to make any money at the box office either because theaters are closed. Like, they're not going to make a dime.
Well, no, it's doing the HBO direct release though.
Yeah, that they're just relying on it to like boost subscribers. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. Which is interesting because 2 weeks before Godzilla vs. Kong comes out, you have the new Justice League coming out. So they're both coming out around the same time. They're trying to boost that subscriber count for HBO Max, and it's all just one big grand plan to get people's money.
1-2 punch. You got the Snyder cut, and then Kong. All right, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, and
I'm hoping for it to do modestly.
Kong, yeah. Yeah. I wonder if it'll make as much as Tenet, that Christopher Nolan film. It made around like
I didn't see that, and I heard mixed things about it.
Me too.
I wanted to see it because I love Christopher Nolan movies.
What about in China? Do you mean theaters in China? Black Rock? I don't know. Are they open? I don't know. Maybe that's what they're counting on to make money in China. Maybe that's it. But yeah, that's a problem with the movies. That's a problem with every movie this year. How are they going to make money? The theaters aren't open. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's just all about getting people to subscribe to HBO Max.
Yeah,
which is a horrible name for a service because it's like it doesn't distinguish itself enough. You know, I'm like HBO Max. I already have HBO. Like people, like they should have called it something else. Like they should. I think people would have signed up a little quicker. But still. Any other thoughts on Kings of Monsters, or do you want to talk a little bit more about Godzilla and Kong?
Well, I have tons of thoughts on King of the Monsters, but I mean, if you really want a breakdown of everything I'm talking about, you got to check out Godzilla, King of the Blunders.
Yes. Go check out his YouTube channel, guys. He has a nice series. I think he should put it all into one giant video. Make it like a 2-hour film of it.
Yeah, it would be over 3, man. It's legit over 3 at this point. That sounds crazy to say.
You sound like Zack Snyder making 3-hour movies. According to mythology, says Godzilla and Kong are eternal enemies.
Oh yeah, where'd that come from?
That's something they created for this movie. You know what I'm saying?
I've never. I mean, they showed that one still image at the end of the Go Go Godzilla song at the credits of the last movie, but that's not really enough of a setup for me. because he's pulling out axes and shit. Like, were there a bunch of apes with axes fighting a bunch of Godzilla? Like, is that a point in history? I would love to see just that.
Right.
Remove humans entirely. Let's go back in time.
All right. Maybe it ties into 2001: A Space Odyssey. The apes getting tools and stuff. I mean, that's what it is.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like every movie, they just add so many more concepts because they just had no plans. So it's like they have like a premise and they're like, well, how are we going to make this work with all this other stuff going on? It's like, well, I guess they were eternal enemies. This is always going to happen.
Right. Oh, just write one line of dialogue to explain away everything. Right.
That's a lot of this movie is just like one quick one-liner to explain away a whole bunch of stuff. But then if you stop and think about it, that's what it is. It's just like a rapid fire. You can tell from the trailer with just the music and it's just like all the flashing, like intensely, like they're trying to get you to shut your brain off already.
Yeah, I want to show people the IMDb of Godzilla and Kong real quick, just so they can get an idea of the talent behind this movie, the amazing talent behind this movie.
See it too, yay!
Hold on here. I gotta zoom in here. Zoom. There we go. Adam Wingard, directed by Godzilla vs. Kong. Let's see some other little flicks Adam has made in his life. He's
I remember one.
VHS. That's a good one. You're next. That's Blair Witch.
No, not the first one though.
Not the first one.
Let's make that clear.
And there's one right before Godzilla and Kong is Death Note. Okay, so there's your director.
Everybody was happy with how faithful Death Note was to the origin, right?
Exactly. Faithful to the
anime. The man who knows source material and how to use it properly.
And you have story by Michael Daughtry, who is who's also the director of Godzilla King of the Monsters.
The writer too. This is the guy. This is his baby.
He did Trick or Treat though.
Oh, Superman Returns. I want to point that out. You remember that movie from a fucking million years ago?
And that's what he's known for, by the way. Yeah.
That's him and Zack Shields. That's the one with no Superman in it, believe it or not.
Yeah, or Superman doesn't punch anybody. And stalks Lois Lane.
Oh, wait. One redeeming thing. He's got that X2 credit right there.
Oh, that's right there. But also Krampus. Let's not forget about Krampus.
God, can we forget about that movie? I wish I could.
Oh, he did the story for X-Men Apocalypse as well. I did not know that. Wow. So, he's just killing it. He's been killing it for the last 20 years here.
He looks like a niche holiday movie kind of guy. It's weird that they put him in front of a Godzilla movie.
Right. So, I mean, that's the talent we're dealing with on Godzilla versus Kong.
Who's Terry Rossio there? What's he
Terry Rossio. I clicked him earlier.
He's a Lego.
Shrek.
Whoa, hold on.
We and the original Aladdin.
What? Wait, go down more. I gotta see this guy.
Deja vu. You know what I'm saying? Not too bad.
Quest. Whoa, Johnny Quest movie coming out? That's ponderous. All right.
That's a home run right there. Shrek
Ranger.
Shrek the musical. Shrek dude, he's the Shrek guy. No wonder he got Godzilla versus Kong.
National Treasure.
The studio head saw Shrek and they're like, this guy is definitely a Godzilla fan.
Treasure Planet animation story by. What does that mean? I like Treasure Planet. That's a good movie.
It's a good movie. Yeah. It's totally overlooked.
Look at that, Godzilla 98.
Really? Oh yeah, right there.
Godzilla 98. That's interesting.
Story. So he does have a Godzilla connection.
Huh.
Holy shit.
That's interesting.
I take back everything I said about Godzilla vs. Kong. This movie's going to be a home run. This movie's going to be incredible.
There's so many people from The Simpsons in it.
Max Borsi. This is the guy that interested me because he wrote the 2014 and King of Monsters.
All of them. Yeah. So he's like the consistency.
Yeah, he's the guy. It's like let's make sure these movies are consistent. Let's make sure these movies make sense here.
Well, I mean, whatever you can describe as consistent about them.
Yeah, let's make sure the continuity is good on these movies.
Because we're like swapping out the characters every time.
Yeah, but he's relatively new, actually. So like these are like his big movies right here.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I'm not saying just because the talent behind the movie, just because they haven't really done that many amazing things, I'm not saying that's why the movie's going to be bad. I'm just saying it's going to be a contributing factor.
Well, you know what? I got my healthy dose of optimism. I'm going to say, let's see what they can do.
Yes. And
let's give it another shot.
The last writer, Eric Pearson, who actually has the first writing credit, so it's mainly his script.
Black Widow's still a thing?
Yeah, that movie's coming out someday. But yeah, he's an MCU talent. He did a lot of MCU stuff.
Okay, some Marvel talent in there. They know how to make movies.
Uncredited for Infinity War. Script doctor.
Uncredited.
That means he went through the script and fixed it up.
Oh, he got coffee. What are we looking at?
That's interesting, though. He has a lot of script doctor credits. That's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of things that are. There's a lot of monster action in the trailer. That makes me happy, but it makes me nervous that that's all we're gonna get.
I know, just punchy. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking about when that trailer was playing. What's it called? When Patrick is doing no, Patrick from SpongeBob, where he's like, "Here comes a giant fist," and like, "No, Patrick, no." You have it set on M for Minnie, when it should be on W for Wampa. That's all I was thinking when that trailer was really playing.
I'm picturing Kong and Merman's utility belt.
Yeah.
Mermaid Man.
But yeah, so Godzilla versus Kong. I don't know about it, guys. I don't know about it. I'll watch it.
I say we try to embrace it for what it is.
Yeah.
As someone who's been ruthlessly attacked by the Godzilla community for having any criticism so far, I'm going to be the one who's going to say, let's try to be optimistic. Let's go in there, try to give them one more chance, and if not, just really hammer them for it.
Right? Just like King of Monsters. But another movie coming out that you might not be too familiar with. You just actually watched the Justice League cut of it. The first cut of Justice League.
Is that what they call it? The Justice League?
Justice League, because Josh Whedon, he actually reshot about an hour of that movie. So an hour of that movie that you see.
I got that vibe.
Yeah. The Russian family, Josh Whedon. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
yeah, they had that because I think that's like a thing they had in like Avengers 2 or something like that. Weren't they following some kids? Wasn't he behind that too?
Yeah, he did a lot of retreading of the same shit he's already done in the past when he did the reshoots for that movie.
Is he the one responsible for the Flash's sense of humor?
Yes.
Oh God.
So you watched that. You just watched that before the stream. So you're
I just did. I'm all caught up.
So are you excited for Zack Snyder's Justice League? How much do you know about it?
I'm not like overly into the DC universe. Marvel got me into superhero movies again, so when DC puts something out, I'm like, let's see what they're doing. But what I've seen so far hasn't instilled any kind of excitement or like, I can't wait for the next one. But after seeing Justice League now, I'd be curious to see a different, because how often do you see like a different version of a movie released? Where you see like one way it's done and then how it was initially supposed to be done. Like just that makes me want to see it. Mm-hmm. But I'd also just like to see the creative choices because it just felt like it was just all, you could tell there was two different minds behind this project. Like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
With one consistent view I'd like to see.
100%. So for 4 years, I've been following it. If you scroll through my YouTube channel, like I've been following it for like 4 years, thinking at some point it's never going to get released. But then, it eventually happened. And what I know from the film so far is that there's 3 hours of movie that we haven't seen. There's 3 hours of footage you haven't seen from this Justice League, which blows my mind.
There's like in addition to what we have seen, there's another 3 hours or the whole.
Yes, it's going to be a 4 hour.
I was thinking about this. They should have done a part 1 and part 2 for this movie because they have 2 movies worth of concepts. They're introducing like 3 different factions, 4 different characters. They didn't really develop like the bad guy. Like I don't know what his goal is, what his origin is. Like you need like time to build this. Like if they're gonna follow in the steps of the Marvel universe, go with the Infinity War and Endgame, like 1 part, 2 part.
Yeah, and there was like when they initially went to go make Justice League, they actually had release dates set for Justice League Part 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, that would have been the way to do it.
Yeah, and they actually shot Zack Snyder's Justice League over like an 8-month period, which is like really long for a movie. Usually movies take about
5 hours of footage, I believe it.
Yeah. So my theory was they were always going to split it up into 2 movies. But then obviously the studio got really cold feet after the reaction to Batman versus Superman. And when that movie came out, the internet did what it does.
Oh yeah. Save Martha.
Yeah, and the studio just like panicked, right? And they're like, we can't do it Zack Snyder once, because if we let him do it again, we're gonna get even more shit. So they scrapped the whole 2-part thing, and they made him make it into one giant movie. And then when he left the project, they brought in Josh Whedon to make that giant movie into a shorter 2-hour movie that was, just as bad. I mean, it was bad. Like, there's no way to, explain it any other way. The Josh Whedon version of Justice League is just bad. It's just not good.
It's so unfocused. Yeah. It's just, everything is so rapid fire. Like, they're trying to establish so much in such a short window. I paused the movie to use the bathroom real quick, and I was like, all right, well, I'm recording it, so I'll be 45 minutes in. It had been 18 minutes. I'm like, there's so much has happened so far. There's so much I need to know already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they skip a lot of story beats in that. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, we were supposed to see like Cyborg get blown up and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was thinking that's how you start.
Yeah, and you are going to see it in Zack Snyder's Justice League. He did shoot it.
Okay,
which is super fascinating here.
Yeah, I noticed that all the first scenes. I don't know if it goes throughout the entire movie, because I just kind of went numb after a bit. But the first few scenes, at least, it's like everything was just a bit off. Like, things just weren't making sense. Like, just the whole opening sequence, Batman on the rooftop, where it's like he's trying to catch a guy, but it's like a fake out because he's chasing a bug, and you're like, what the fuck? And then he just leaves the guy there tied up, and he's letting him listen in on him talking to Alfred and shit. And it's like, is he arresting him or not? Was he just bait? Does he know? What's happening? Yeah. Oh God, what was the scene after that?
I really can't remember the Josh Whedon Justice League. I tried to
saw this movie. I can't remember it. My brain.
I do not like that movie at all.
It's just so messed. Everything doesn't make sense, and it's just I have no the whole final battle. I have no concept of where anybody is in relation to each other. They're just in CGI expanse. There's walls with vines on them, and that's just all everywhere. Just red vines everywhere. It's people are looking, Wonder Woman's looking up in the air and talking to him, and it's some guys look like they're in a basement. I'm like, where is everybody?
Mm-hmm. Jose M says Snyder had to make it to 2 hours. How the hell would he be able to do that? Yeah, back before Snyder left, he was getting constant studio notes when he was making this Justice League film, and that was one of the notes. Make it 2 hours. So he had to shorten his almost 5-hour movie to 2 hours, and that was eating at him. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Yeah, there's this channel called the Comic Movie Marks as well. They explained everything that happened behind the scenes on Justice League. I'll send you a link to that.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely want to check that out. Because I was thinking I could do one, but it's I know it's just been done by somebody else probably better.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see this Justice League, and let's go ahead and pull up that Joker image, because I know people are all excited about this.
It's not even an image though.
It's not an image. Yeah, it's blurry. It's fucking blurry. I can't even see him.
It's the It clown. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But this is a shot from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Zack Snyder posted this on his Vero account. It's a different social media thing.
Was he wearing rubber gloves?
Yeah, I guess. I know, right? Is he worried about fingerprints?
I guess.
Yeah, because apparently this is supposed to be from an alternate future where Darkseid takes over the planet, and they have to go back in time and change it.
Is that Batman versus Superman? Yes. That dream sequence that wasn't a dream sequence before the other dream sequence?
Yes, the one where he's in the trench coat. They're actually going to go
to see that just because it's so different.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be rated R, as Lemon says. They announced that I think yesterday or the day before that the movie's going to be rated R. So we're going to hear some cussing. We're going to.
There were a couple shits in there. At least one son of a bitch. Yeah,
a little fuck, a couple fuck lines there.
That's something I wanted to talk about that I noticed that I really didn't like is Batman has always occurred to me to be the kind of guy where he's just in control of the room. He's just got this very stoic personality. He's unflappable. In Justice League, just with that Joss Whedon humor thrown in there, he's just like awkward, and people are able to like verbally bitch slap him and shit. Like he'll stutter, like Superman throws him on the ground, he's like, "Oh, that one hurt." It's just like, that's not Batman. Like on the ground, cowering, like, "Ow, something's bleeding." Like, that's not Batman. Like I grew up with the Justice League where he just always talks at the same monotone.
I know, and that's the kind of stuff that's going to get removed. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you will not see that in Zack Snyder Justice League. It's very exciting. Like I don't want to say that. But yeah, this whole Jared Leto Joker thing, they shot an additional 4 minutes on top of the 4-hour movie they had. And this is what they added. They added Jared Leto's Joker. And I think
why? If it doesn't have a plan, like if there's no plan to use the Joker, then why just like throw him in there?
Fan service. That's what I'm thinking. fan service.
Right. I mean, I guess, I'm not a big DC guy, but I'm sure someone's, looking for it, and there are people excited, whatever.
But we have to. I'm thinking this is definitely like the nightmare sequence from the future, or Dark Side's of it, because it looks like he has longer hair right here.
Yeah, so definitely time has passed.
Yeah, time has passed, and I don't see the damage tattoo. I know it's blurry.
Wait, so what is in this universe? What is the Joker like done? I don't remember anything like any Joker scenes.
Other than Suicide Squad, we haven't seen any Joker.
Yeah, like what did he do in Suicide Squad? I know he threw her in the vat. I think he the helicopter crashed and he was fine.
Yeah, just forget about that Suicide Squad movie.
Right, but that's the source of the hype is the Joker character from that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. I don't know. Though, yeah, Jose M looks very Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, with the longer hair. That's kind of what I was getting too. But yeah,
who play a good Joker is the guy who plays Barry Allen's dad, who's in prison. Like he has a good Joker face.
Oh yeah, but yeah, that's Billy Crudup. That's the guy who played Dr. Manhattan in the Watchmen movie. Did you know that?
Oh, that's where. That's where I recognize him from.
Yeah, he's a great actor, and he'll have more scenes in this Justice League movie too. But it's funny that you point out the spotless gloves here, because if this is the nightmare scene, if we are in the future, why does Joker need gloves? You know what I'm saying? Why does he need to protect anything? You know what I'm saying?
Like, well, there's blood on the cards, so maybe he was like torturing and sawing people and stuff.
Maybe
that's what he looks like. He looks like Jigsaw. That's what it is.
A little bit.
Just without the cheeks.
100%. But yeah, that everybody assumes that it is the nightmare scene. But I wonder if they shot anything that had to do with that Robin death, because in Batman vs Superman, you see the Robin suit.
See, that's the stuff I don't like, is where they're like putting in too much stuff where it's like you can forget about certain things like that.
Yeah. I who knows?
Yeah, because there's been no reference besides that one thing.
The one reference to the Robin death. They never said which Robin it was. Zack Snyder said it's Dick Grayson, which I was never a fan of. But still. That's the Joker image, guys. He also released another image of a Batman from the nightmare scene today, but it wasn't that interesting. I don't know why people are hyped about it. It wasn't that interesting. Like his back, but yeah, crazy that they spent $70 million to go back and finish Zack Snyder's Justice League.
It's such an odd situation. Yeah. Was it just like fan demand wanting it, or him pushing it out?
Yeah, because there was a specific day in November in 2019, where it went viral and like millions of people were tweeting, release the Snyder Cut. And that's like what triggered AT&T and Warner Brothers to be like, all right, we got to make this. Like we just got to put it out there. It's too easy money. There's too much easy money to pass up on, because people like me are going to buy like a couple different copies of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I'm going to get like a hard copy. I'll get a digital copy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Batman holding the card. I don't know. Was using that image right there? Is that what you're talking about, BlackRock? That's Batman holding the card? Oh, you mean
like that we're like seeing from Batman's perspective as he's holding the card? You can kind of tell from the fingers that it's coming off Joker.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It looks like almost purple gloves. I know it's black and white.
Cheap ass Batman gloves.
Right. right. Plastic gloves. Yeah, I know. Oh, wait, maybe he's been underground so long he's afraid to be exposed to the sun. Are you talking about Joker? Yeah, people be coming up with theories all the time. People be coming up with theories all the time, Jose. Jose.
There's literally nothing to go on. Like we can't even see anything. It's a blurred out photo of like half a face. Like we can't see anything.
And the whole like Snyder community was like losing their shit yesterday about it. Like, they're like, oh my God, it's Joker. It's like, yeah, we know he's in the movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Jared Leto was on set. Like, we know he's in the movie. Like, I don't know why everyone was like, oh my God, you know. But it's fun. It's fun. Yeah, I can't wait for the movie. I've been waiting for like 4 years for it. Because the Justice League was
something that people really enjoy, because it just seems like all the DC films have just been kind of fallen flat, probably due to poor leadership. So it'd be nice to get something where it's just like, all right, there was an actual idea that this movie was based around. Because that's the vibe in all the movies. It's just like studio interference. Like somebody was telling somebody else that you need to do this, even though there's no room for it.
Exactly. And, you know, when there's like hundreds of millions of dollars at stake, I kind of get it. You know what I'm saying? I kind of get a studio like giving notes and stuff.
Well, they're paying for it. So, I mean, they're going to have say in it, but it's just like, I wish sometimes the creative minds do that. Yeah.
And, you know, we can go back to Godzilla 2014. That felt like more of a director-driven film, you know, with a huge budget, you know. But then, you know, it gets the reaction and the studio steps in and be like, all right, we can't let that happen again. You know what I'm saying?
That was my thing with King of the Monsters, because, you know, I attribute all the flaws to Michael Dougherty because his name's on it, but at the same time, he's like talking the talk of a Godzilla fan, but not walking the walk. And I'm wondering if you can attribute that to him or studio strong arming.
I think that's a lot.
I've really chewed him out a lot, and then it's like part of me is like, oh shit, I hope that was warranted.
Yeah, I think a lot of it had to do with like he was just like a puppet for the studio. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just doing everything they wanted because he was getting a big paycheck, right?
Wait, isn't he like Snyder's protege or something?
Dougherty?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I was looking at his credits. So he didn't have anything with Zack Snyder.
There was somebody like that. Maybe I'm thinking of a different person. Like
the guy who did 300 Rise of the Empire.
Bryan Singer? Maybe I'm thinking Bryan Singer.
I don't know. Bryan Singer, did he get in trouble for like touching like a 14-year-old or something like that?
I think we should start using the word allegedly a lot.
Allegedly.
But yes, there were some allegations. Yeah, because that's what it was. Because I remember that Dougherty was linked to the guy who was allegedly doing something involving drugs and underage kids.
Yeah.
So I was always like,
Still, X-Men 2 is great. You know what
I'm saying? Oh, you say it's worth it? All right.
All worth it, you know. All that pain was worth it. But still, yeah, Zack Snyder's never been really caught doing anything bad. Like you hear all the background scene stories about him. Oh, well,
it's so tough to really listen to a lot. Like, I mean, it's all he said, she said, and these days it's just like having anything said is just like the end of you.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you kind of have to take a step back. Like, all right, let's like really hear the facts out. Like, that's why I don't want to make any comments about it because I don't know what the situation. I don't even know what he's accused of, honestly.
Yeah,
I know he's accused of something.
Yeah. You've been hearing what Ray Fisher's been doing, right?
Ray Fisher?
Ray Fisher, the cyborg actor. He's been trying to get people fired because of what happened on the Justice League movie set.
What happened?
Well, what happened was apparently Josh Whedon was an asshole on set.
Really?
He was like the worst to work with. Of course, I mean, we don't know exactly what happened. Nobody knows exactly what was said or what happened. It's all just Ray Fisher pointing fingers right now, which is interesting that he does it like 3 years after the fact.
Yeah, there's always like that long period of silence, and then it comes out, and that kind of makes you go like, that's a weird. Like the Louis C.K. thing is like 15 years or something. It's just like, it's weird. It's just like comes out of nowhere.
Did you see Louis C.K.'s new stand-up where he talks about it?
I love Louis.
So fucking funny.
Louis C.K., yeah, that was great.
If you ever ask somebody that you can jerk off in front of them, just don't do it. Just
I love when he just comes out in the beginning and he's just saying, so how was everybody else's last 2 years? Did anybody else get in global amounts of trouble?
That's one of the best stand-up specials of the year, man. It's classic.
Oh, yeah. It's just such a strange time with all the stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. And apparently, Kathy Yane was coming out, the director of Birds of Prey, that god-awful movie, Birds of Prey.
Wait, is that a real thing? Oh my god, that's a movie that came out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really bad.
Oh
Don't
my
even bother
god.
watching it.
I thought I like
It's
hallucinated that, or that was like some YouTube clip or something. Oh my god, that's a real movie.
it's so bad. And
Yeah,
Kathy
I heard that.
she came out and said Toby Emmerich or like the studio heads at Warner Brothers, that's also a movie that they were fiddling with and stuff. But like it was so bad. I don't know what you could have did to make it worse. Like what I'm saying, like I don't think that movie was going to be good at all ever.
It just feels like when we're talking about movies nowadays, it's more about like the drama behind the scenes more than the actual movie itself. It feels like that's not paramount anymore, is the actual consistency of the movie and the quality of the film.
Exactly. I mean, and Warner Brothers used to let directors make their movies. Like the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy, like they kind of just let Nolan make them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gave him a big budget. They let him make these awesome Batman films.
Had he made his bones by then? Or was that kind of like everybody's first introduction to Christopher Nolan? Because I know since then he's done, Interstellar. He's done, what's the other one? Inception.
Yeah. But before the Batman trilogy, he made Insomnia.
He made Insomnia. He made Memento, didn't he?
Memento as well. And
yeah,
those got a lot of people's attention at Warner Brothers. So they kind of just trusted him to make the movie, and it worked.
Well, he also had his trilogy planned out, which is something that other people don't seem to understand, especially in the last decade. With Star Wars, with Godzilla, with the Justice League, there's just no overall plan. It's just they put one out there, try to figure it out based on audience reactions, what they should do, and they fall on their face a second time.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, The Dark Knight Rises. For sure, like Christopher Nolan had a plan with the Heath Ledger Joker for that movie.
Was out of his control, though.
Yeah, I mean, but he was able to switch around the plans and make a decent movie. I like Dark Knight Rises. A lot of people don't like
Dark Knight. It's definitely not the same level of Dark Knight, but it's definitely an enjoyable. I mean, Bane.
Yeah,
Bane sells the whole movie.
Exactly.
On your schedule, Captain.
I was wondering what would break first.
Oh, that's good. Your mind or your body?
So that alone makes the movie memorable. And you try to compare that to a lot of superhero movies that come out now, and it's like it's not even it's not even close.
Like he was charming, but in a natural way. It's like now it's like when I'm watching like Justice League, it's like they're trying to tell me the characters are charming. They're like, look at how charming he is. And I'm like, I don't find that charming.
Yeah. They don't take no time to set up the characters in Justice League because they're just rushing to get through it. They're rushing to get through the movie because they know it's a disaster, because they fucked over Zack Snyder and they just want to get through it. You know what I'm saying? They're just like, let's just put this behind us. And for 4 years, the fans did not let them put it behind them. You know what I'm saying? And they have to release the actual cut now. It's going to be really fun to see. Like 4 hours. That's a long time to tell a story.
Wait, how long is this one going to be?
It's 4 hours. 4 hour movie.
Oh, the whole thing is 4 hours?
Yeah. So that's a lot of time to tell a story and set up characters and stuff like that. So I'm expecting them to do it right. You know what I'm saying?
Waterloo of superhero movies.
That's a great movie, by the way. And everyone has seen Waterloo. So good. All practical effects, too, in Waterloo. But that's
what I'm missing. I'm missing like our big war movies. Like I want like another Bridge Too Far or Waterloo, something like that. You never get those movies anymore.
And The Dark Knight Rises, remember that scene where all the cops and people are running at each other in the street? That was
I remember that, but for the wrong reasons. I remember it because there's people firing at each other point blank and nobody's getting hit.
But just the fact that they got like hundreds of extras to be on screen.
No, they cared. They cared to actually make a real scene with like tangible things.
And that's the kind of stuff I love in movies sometimes. Like Waterloo, they have this epic shot where they pull out, and it's like 10,000 extras from like the Soviet army.
Yeah, they got a Russian division to like march as Napoleonic soldiers and actually execute these entire battles of the Napoleonic Wars. It's crazy.
It's insane. Yeah, it's like if people haven't seen that movie, I highly recommend it. Like it's fucking insane what they did. like you could never do that now.
I know, and it's just a damn shame.
Yeah. But we got giant CG monsters punching each other now. You know what I'm saying?
We got a monkey with an axe slamming a giant lizard. That's everything.
It really did remind me of Battleship in like fucking Pacific Rim.
Yeah, you said that. I was like, oh yeah, but just with the color schemes and just like that sunset. Yeah, it does remind me of Battleship too. I completely see that.
Yeah, Pacific Rim. I like Pacific Rim. I like I enjoy things punching each other when I'm drunk and stuff. I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I'm not asking like a giant monster movie to be like a quality. Like either give me like a quality movie all throughout, or give me something with a lot of like mindless monster action. Because that was my problem with King of the Monsters. No mindless monster action, just bad plots. That's all I have to look at. If Kong vs. Godzilla has a shitty plot, but they give me all the monster action I want, I'll be fine with it.
I'm sure you're going to get a lot of monster action in that movie. Yeah, Master Commander, great too. We need more.
That one.
Yeah, very epic movie. Tenet, all practical, says Kal-El. That gets me more excited to see Tenet. I still haven't seen Tenet. We'll definitely get to that.
Yeah, I gotta watch that one too.
But yeah, man. Now that you're learning more about the Snyder Cut, I bet it's more interesting to you, this Justice League film, especially after watching. Yeah.
Because I had to watch the Justice League. Yeah. I definitely want to see what the differences are.
It's going to be a lot.
It's going to be a good measure of like, it's going to be a good measure of the level of studio interference that they can have on a movie to see like the before and after.
Yeah, dude, that's going to be a lot of fun to break it down. And like, I'm telling you, there's only like barely like 50 minutes of Zack Snyder footage in that Justice League movie you saw. Like barely, you know what I'm saying? Everything else is Whedon. It's dude.
What a strange situation.
It's gonna be fucking nuts, and especially if like it blows up and like everybody loves the Snyder Cut, and they're like, "Why did you release this in 2017?" It's gonna really make a mess for Warner Brothers, and like going forward with these DC movies. Like,
well, what is going forward with the DC universe? Because
they're starting.
Kind of felt like the beginning of something.
Yeah, but they had to fucking end everything, right?
Oh my god! You know what Justice League is? I'm sorry, I just thought this. Did you ever see that video of the Shockmaster from the WWE?
Yeah, the Shockmaster falls.
Justice League is like the beginning of something, except it fell through the wall like Shockmaster, but it can still get up and brush itself off and try to pick itself up. So if Zack Snyder gets the helm, that's a good thing for them.
That's exactly what it is.
It's that bedazzled stormtrooper helmet and the furry vest coming through the wall. Everybody needs to see that footage.
Yeah, Jose, he doesn't need to watch the movie again. you never need to watch the Whedon Justice League again. You saw it once.
I got it recorded up. I need to check it out.
Yeah, man. Shockmaster. How can we forget the Shockmaster here?
And then we had Wonder Woman 84, and that was something else too.
You know what? I liked it. I liked it.
That one a lot of people kind of mixed too for me.
You know what? There's some parts I like about it because it's like at least they're trying to put some emotion there. But the story's such a mess. It's so all over the place with everything that's happening. That it's it's kind of like the
wishes thing was just all over the place. We're just like, what were the rules on that? And
was not expecting that at all going into that movie.
Like I'm gonna make, like he doesn't wish for 1,000 wishes. He's like, I wish I was a wishing rock, and you're like, what?
Oh yeah, dude. But DC, they put out some god awful films. You know what I'm saying? Birds of Prey, god awful. Justice League, Whedon, god awful. A Suicide Squad, not good.
It's a knockoff of the Marvel universe. Like Marvel had a whole structure, and they're like trying to come in and cram that into 4 movies, and it's just sloppily done. It's a hastily packed suitcase of different movies. It's not fun.
That Suicide Squad. David Ayer was the director of that movie. That also has an alternate cut that people are asking for.
Wait, which movie?
The Suicide Squad with Will Smith.
Oh.
That has an alternate cut with like 30 more minutes of Joker and stuff like that, which is, I guess they might release that one day. But right now, we're all focused on the Snyder Cut. Yeah.
I trust Will Smith's decision making when it comes to different. Well, actually, he did After Earth, so never mind.
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
He only did that movie to get his son a role. Let's be honest. Like, I need to get my son into more movies. You know what I'm saying?
Oh God, Jaden Smith and his Jaden Smith wisdom quotes are the best.
Jose M says Shazam was a bore fest. I like Shazam.
Oh, Shazam was a bore fest. Oh no, I wanted to watch that one. I never caught that.
It's a good one. It's fun. There's some fucked up scenes.
Is it like a kind of niche superhero movie where it's kind of has its own thing going on?
You ever see Big with Tom Hanks?
Oh, 1,000 years ago.
It's like that. It's that essentially.
Okay. How was Brightburn? I've been meaning to watch that one too. I don't think that was DC, but just because of Superman.
Oh,
really.
It was a David Ayer film. I liked it. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was interesting how they just made these fantasy characters like orcs and goblins and elves, like they're just normal people.
Oh no, I was talking Brightburn, the one with the Superman kid.
I thought, yeah,
He's like a little sociopath.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. People say it's good. I thought you were talking about the other one.
Yeah, I saw Bright. That's with Will Smith, where he's like a cop with a goblin guy, and
I thought it's all right.
It's all right. I don't remember anything from it, so I'm going by that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing about the Snyder Cut. If it comes out and everybody loves it and it's like this great fucking movie, then what do they do? Because they're putting a bunch of DC films into production this summer. We're talking like 4 or 5 different DC films that are going to start filming in April and May.
What?
Yeah, we're Black Adam, Shazam 2, Aquaman 2, the Flash film. Like these are films.
Oh God, just a plot around him.
Yeah, it's got Michael Keaton in it. Michael Keaton's gonna be Batman. It's gonna do with a multiverse.
Batman again?
Yeah, it's gonna go with multiverses. You're gonna go through a bunch of different like time and time. It's gonna be crazy. But that's the thing about this. If the Snyder Cut does like great, what happens to all these movies that are going in production? Like they have to keep going forward with them because I mean they're almost there. Like April they start shooting with most of these, and then May they start shooting. So like they can't really change that much right now. Maybe they put a little Easter egg to Zack Snyder's Justice League in the Flash movie because the Flash movie is going to go all through time and different universes and stuff like that. So you could put like a little scene that references the Zack Snyder Justice League, but that's about it.
Well, yeah, I'm sure we'll be doing different Easter eggs, but let's just hope they have a plan for them. Just like that, that Flash premonition in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, dude. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild to see what happens in the next couple months. All right, if AT&T commits to retaining WB long term.
There's no periods or commas in the sentences. It hurts my eyes.
I know. We most likely purge Emmerich and his guys, but you need to brace for the fact that's a statistical impossibility.
Okay, I'm trying to summarize this in my head.
What's he trying to say?
If AT&T is retaining Warner Brothers long term, they will most likely purge Emmerich.
Toby Emmerich. He's the head of Warner Brothers, essentially.
Okay, but you need to brace for the fact that it's impossible.
Yeah, is that what he's trying to say? Because Emmerich, that's tough to
do it, but they won't.
Yeah, I don't think AT&T would get rid of Emmerich because he's not just in charge of like doing DC. He's in charge of every film at Warner Brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like everything they're doing. He's kind of like a linchpin over there. It's tough to get rid of somebody like that.
Oh, so he's the one who legitimized Meat Canyon's Bugs Bunny video?
Yes. By the way, you see for now Warner Brothers.
Next time you're watching Justice League, listen to what's his face? Cyborg's voice in the beginning. I swear to God, he sounds like the Meat Canyon Ed and Eddie voice. It's like it's so beautiful. Like he just talks like that sometimes. I couldn't stop hearing it.
No, yeah, I totally get that.
People think I'm a monster.
Couple more things here. As much as I like Ray Fisher, Alex, that's me, by the way. That's me. That's been right from the jump. Ray fucked Zack's chances at sequels. As long as Emmerich and Mono is still there. He's talking about Ray Fisher because Ray Fisher started this whole drama with Warner Brothers after they announced the Snyder Cut. And
what was the specifics he accused him of?
Well, at first, Walter Hamada, who's the president of DC Films. He's accusing him of interfering with this investigation into what happened on the Justice League set, even though Walter Hamada wasn't hired till after Justice League came out. So it's really muddy, like what he's really accusing Walter Hamada of.
Yeah, because I'd like to know specifically, because when it comes to abusive directors, like I think about Stanley Kubrick's absolute horrible treatment of what's her face who played Wendy in The Shining.
Yeah, he gave her post-traumatic stress. Yeah.
Have you seen her recently? She's like a hoarder. Like her life is messed up. Yeah. But we got The Shining. So it's like, if there's actual like horrific assaults or something like that going on, like, stop the guy, but keep in mind we might be stopping The Shining too.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing about the whole Ray Fisher thing. He never gave specific like what they said. He never gave specifics. He accused them of racist actions, like Josh Whedon was changing the skin complexion of some characters in post production. So
Well,
like
everything's
that,
so goddamn dark. That's his style.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and Ray Fisher thinks that's a racist thing that he was doing, but like that's tough to believe that Josh Whedon's a secret racist.
Well,
You
yeah,
know what I'm
like
saying?
that's a weird way to show it too. He's like, I think you look better in mocha. Fix it. Like, why? That's a weird. That's a strange way to show your racism.
Right? It's very strange. And
I think your shade is slightly off.
And he's accusing people like Toby Emmerich and like Jeff Johns, who was also like a DC Films like president at the time. He's accusing these people of enabling it, allowing it to happen. Like they knew this racist stuff was happening. They did nothing about it, which is like tough to prove. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless we get specifics about what they said, you can't really do much about it. And Ray Fisher wanted this investigation to happen. It happened. There was an investigation by a third party. Yeah, it already happened.
Well, it must have yielded some results. There's got to be like one of those Christian Bale yelling at the light guy tape of this dude.
That's what I wanted. And we never got anything really like that. And what happened was Josh Whedon doesn't have any more he was supposed to do a TV show for HBO Max, and he stepped away after this investigation happened, right?
What show?
I forget what the name of it, but like after this investigation happened, then Josh Whedon steps away from his project. So there you go. Like that, those were your results, right? That you wanted, Ray Fisher, right? Like, yeah, right? Like,
he's probably going after Emmerich.
Yeah, and Toby Emmerich, which is like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to accuse.
Well, you have to have like some big guns if you're going to take on the head of Warner Brothers. Like, you got to have something.
And if you do have something, why aren't you just suing them? Like, just jump right to the sue them. You know what I'm saying? Right?
I guess we'll have to see how it plays out. You know, it's just weird that he's not naming specifics. I would like to base an opinion on this off of something substantial. But if it's just like this guy's a bad guy, it's kind of hard to, well, he should be not having a job.
Yeah, I mean, go to Ray Fisher's Twitter and just scroll through all his tweets, and just read it. Like he just saying, it's essentially him just saying, "Trust me." Like that. That's I'm like, that's tough to do. We've had lots of people kind of make up stuff to get back at other people for other things. It's tough.
Well, I won't discredit his account or anything like that, but I would ask that he, gives me something more solid to latch onto.
I know, and it's been a year since he started it, and he hasn't given specifics. So that's another reason why I'm like totally questioning things.
So is he fine with the Snyder cut, or is he like, oh, I don't want to be featured in these movies that Emmerich is in, yada yada? Yeah,
Ray Fisher literally said at one point that he doesn't want to be involved in any movie Walter Hamada is involved in, and Walter Hamada is the DC Films president, so that means any movie with Cyborg in it, like that's Walter Hamada is going to be involved in that.
Well, he's just saying he's out then.
Yeah, he's just saying he's out. So the Snyder cut thing would be the last thing you're going to see Ray Fisher in.
Well, isn't like everybody bailing on that? Like Ben Affleck's out too, right?
Oh yeah, he's out. He's going to be in the Flash movie though, as well. That's supposed to be a send off.
That's right. You said multiverse, so they're going to get multiple. Okay, got you.
And then that'll be like his little send off thing. That's what it's supposed to be. But then again, man, going back to that Snyder cut, they invested $70 million to finish it when they didn't need to. They could have invested like half of that just to get it out, but they invested more than they needed to.
Well, the other $35 million was obviously used to adjust Ray Fisher's skin tone to a more acceptable way for the director.
Exactly. That's exactly post-production, post-effects. He was too dark, guys. But no, that's not. Yeah, those are jokes, guys. I know. People really don't have a sense of humor these days.
Are people getting mad at that?
Oh, they get mad at everything, dude. Just just like your Godzilla video. Like people just get mad about the most minute stuff.
Yeah, I literally have a thing where like I tried discussing those issues I have with King of the Monsters on this one comic thread on a clip from King of the Monsters, and I'm literally like I check back in every couple days because people are just hammering me. It's been 4 months. I check back in every few days, and there's at least a couple people there like, "Oh, dude, you're an idiot. If you don't like Godzilla, go make your own." Like just all those weak arguments, and I go in there and I have the arguments. Because I think it helps me be able to defend my points better. Mm-hmm. It's just like sparring, just verbal sparring. Because people don't have a good argument. They just have a knee-jerk emotional thing. Like, he's criticizing something I enjoy. It's like, well, I like it too. I just think that it's also we can talk about its flaws.
Yeah. And why are you looking up a video of a guy criticizing it too if you like it so much?
Oh, no, I posted this on a video from the movie, so I can see that. Like, I'm stepping into the shark tank and then chumming the waters. So I completely understand why I'm getting it. But
there you go. Yeah.
it's helpful to like have that discussion with people, because some people, they just can't have it. They just go, get lost. Like they just have nothing.
You Marvelite. You Marvel. What are they? They always they always come up with some fancy names here. Do you like the MCU movies? Somebody asked that up here.
Oh,
So this Jose M.
I love the MCU, dude. The whole first part of COVID was just me rewatching all the movies.
They do not like MCU on this channel. They hate the MCU.
They're fun. Like, what's the problem with MCU? I'm an outsider. Like, I haven't heard anybody say like, MCU sucks. So I'd like to hear the reasons. Like, not that I'm like, how could you think such a horrible thing? It's like different opinion. What's the issue?
I mean, well, from my perspective, the MCU movies are like factory line. You know what I'm saying? They're all like the same. That's what I get out of them. And some people like that. Some people like their movies have to have this continuity to it, I
get what you're saying. It's like that kind of McDonald's thing where it comes off a conveyor belt. I would put it at like a Wendy's level, though. Like, I'll go to Wendy's every so often. I enjoy Wendy's, but definitely a little kind of above McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. But 4 for $4, you can't deny how great of a deal that is. Fries, nuggets, burger, drink for $4.
Yeah, 4 Marvel movies a year.
Yeah, it's essentially what it is. And I just got I got drained from it. The first phase up to the first Avengers film, I was like, all right, and that just kept going and going, and I'm like, oh god, what's the point?
I just thought you were telling me to bail out on saying I like the Marvel. You did that like cut it.
Don't do it,
because I can't see the chat board, so I can't see all the angry faces popping up. But yeah, it's like. I get what you're saying. It's just, like it's coming out of the same studio. They'll have that same kind of vibe. They're all going to hit those same kind of notes. But I don't know. It's like I don't mind that kind of repetition where it's something it's not going to make me strain my brain. There's something that entertain my eyes. A couple moments are charming to me. I've actually felt like legitimate moment. Like, I don't know, just a 10-year buildup, getting all these characters together, like them or hate them. Just the accomplishment of having a decade's worth of work come together in something like Infinity War where all the characters get together. Like, I don't know. I just like the scope of it. The scope of it I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And if DC was following that same pattern, if they make more movies and they have a big scope, it's like, all right, there's like a universe here. I'm behind that.
But it really feels like DC is just pumping out movies that really don't have any connection. I mean, I'm saying? They're just like, let's just keep making movies. Yeah.
They're like, what characters do we have? Wonder Woman. Put her out there.
But, back in Man of Steel and BVS, it felt like there was something they were building towards with the Justice League movie, right? Because like Man of Steel leads right into BVS. It's like BVS starts at the end of Man of Steel. It's like the same thing, really. And I like that continuity. I like how the films feel like one giant like story type thing that's being told, and it's a little different than the MCU. It's like it's literally darker.
They definitely work with more time.
Yeah, and I realized Warner Brothers, they're just trying to play catch up, try to make a couple movies to get to Justice League real quick. Then that was kind of their mistake. I feel like maybe if you made a Batman movie, maybe if you made another Superman movie that was like before BVS, and then you do Batman versus Superman, then it would have made like more sense.
Just to have the characters nailed down so we know who we're dealing with.
Yeah,
because Batman's kind of a little bit all over the map in terms of like what he thinks of Superman. Like he's all about if there's a 1% chance the Superman's bad, we got to take him out, and then they take out Superman. He's like, well, we need Superman, obviously. Let's resurrect the dead. It's like you think the guy who lost his parents would be more like, death is final. We can't bring him back.
Yeah, and I mean they tried to set it up in BVS with the whole Metropolis attack and like this little girl, her mom dies, and Batman blames Superman for it. It's like I get what they were trying to do, but you could have stretched it out over like another movie, and then you go into Batman versus Superman.
Justice League Part 1 and 2. Start getting all these ideas out in Part 1, end it with Superman coming back.
Yeah.
Part 2, start taking on Darkseid, and things are starting to get really bad. Like everything, no, not Darkseid or whatever his face was, Steppenwolf. I even forgot already. I feel like nobody in that movie, like outside of that, like whatever it was, like Russian, like Latvian town, I don't even know where. But I feel like nobody in the world knew that there was like a battle for the Earth happening there. It just feels like it's so like confined to this random area in the middle of nowhere. Because like with Avengers, when they had the whole team come together, it's in the middle of New York City. The whole world sees it. You have a little brief thing where you're going over the news, and people are like, "Oh, thank you, the Avengers did this," and blah blah. You have that kind of public reaction, and that's something that I also didn't like in King of the Monsters. Like you kind of need to feel there's a presence in the world. Like there's people on the street who have opinions and thoughts, and there's like ideas shifting and things like that. Like they tried doing it in the beginning of Justice League where they had like a skinhead kicking over a Middle Eastern family's oranges. And I was like, so are white supremacists on the rise after Superman? Then I was like, wait a minute. Like if there was a Superman and he was white, like wouldn't white supremacists like treat him like a god? Like there's like a whole bunch of stuff you could have done. Or like, you know, like weird cults. Like there's so much that can be done, but it's like they kind of don't acknowledge the rest of the world.
Yeah. And what does Superman mean? What's Superman mean in German? It translates to Übermensch, right?
Übermensch.
Yeah. So like, you know, skinheads should probably be worshiping Superman, but yeah, but that's the thing about that Justice League you watch, dude. That's not when we get that Snyder cut, it's gonna be a wildly different. Like,
well, that's why I like the idea that you were saying what they were going with the multiverse for Flash, because I feel like instead of going with like trying to fit the Marvel layout of things, where it's like, you know, they come in, they save the day, and do this, they should do more niche things like that. Like, let's explore the multiverse, or let's do that Batman future where he's in the trench coat, like things like that, where it's like the characters you know in different situations. That could be pretty interesting.
That's what feels like they're doing, and it kind of can explain movies like Wonder Woman 84. Like Wonder Woman 84 is like a movie in a completely different Earth.
Yeah, it was a different style of superhero movie, and I did appreciate its attempt to be different.
Yeah, and that's what
like the big stupid fight at the end where it's like the beam of light and the planet's gonna end.
Mm-hmm. And she technically ends the movie on a conversation, which is interesting. Like not many superhero movies end with like the hero going, just listen to me for like 20 minutes here.
Yeah, talking down the Mandalorian from granting people's wishes.
Right, yeah. That doesn't happen that often. Oh yeah. Martian Manhunter. This guy, he's going on here in the comments, but Martian Manhunter.
Good. I would love to see more military-based stuff out of that. That's always something I like. That was why I love Shin Gojira. Is you see like a military tactical perspective on something.
Yeah.
So it's like you get kind of civilians, you get the military. Like if we saw like from a military perspective how they would take on superheroes, that would be so interesting.
Yeah, and in Batman versus Superman, there's that scene where they nuke Superman when he goes to space because they're like, we could take out both of them right now, you know, like.
They're gonna oxygen destroyer them.
Yeah, and, the General Swanwick, the guy who's in Man of Steel and BVS, he's Martian Manhunter.
That's Christopher Maloney, isn't it?
No, it's the black one. It's the black one. What's his name? Henry Lennox.
I haven't seen the movie in forever.
You watch the Ultimate Edition of Batman versus Superman.
There's an alternate edition of that too.
There's a 3-hour cut of it.
Is that how they're rolling them out? They're going to release 2 versions of each movie, so it's going to be like half the production value.
Multiverses, man.
The universe itself is a multiverse.
Yes, every movie is a different universe. Yeah,
that's like avant-garde. I like it.
Yeah, it's very crazy. But yeah, that general dude, the black one, he is Martian Manhunter in Justice League. That's like
I was looking through the Justice League IMDb and I was seeing all the characters like Joker. I'm like, I didn't remember seeing him. And there's Martian Manhunter. I'm like, I don't remember seeing that at all.
It's going to be in this 4-hour cut, which is wild. Like it's going to be crazy. But yeah, we're over an hour here. Thanks everybody for joining. We had some people in here the whole time watching us, listening to us.
Thank you for your viewership.
Yes, and make sure to click on BrutallyHannes, his YouTube channel. Very good stuff. He does a whole series on Godzilla King of Monsters. Pretty much everything wrong with those movies in a funny way. It's not like a fucking it's not like
it's discussing the flaws of the movie. It's having fun, poking fun at all the things that were done wrong with it.
Exactly. And
if you're a Godzilla fan, you'll like it.
Yeah. Have you seen Movie Bob? That channel where that dude goes makes 3-hour videos where he's literally talking really fast. I'll send you a link to it later, but it's not like that, guys. It's actually entertaining.
Yeah, I was going for if you ever see Mauler, his kind of thing where he goes through the entire duration of it and then kind of breaks down. I was kind of going for that, but more just making bits in there too, making suggestions about how to change things. You know, trying to give constructive criticism, not just say this sucks.
And his the cutaways you use in those videos are hysterical. They remind me a lot of the comic movie marks too. It's just very, very funny.
Yeah, but I am trying to branch out and do other things now. I just did my Invisible Man review. I'm going to try to do different movies. So it's not just niche Godzilla. There will be other content.
Yeah, Invisible Man was another good one too, because the second you point out that this guy is way too good looking for this chick, I was like, that's the first thing I thought of.
I thought I'd catch flack for that, but I think as a dude, that's the thing that I couldn't get. Why is he chasing her?
Exactly. Like that's the first thing I thought of in that movie. And it's like I don't want to be like a misogynist and say that she's ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like she's fine.
Like, yeah,
like,
yeah, you're not like if you're treating a woman like an object, you're being a misogynist. But that's what he's doing in the movie. He's treating her like an object. So it's weird that he's going for her. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if they got someone like Margot Robbie, like you were saying in the video, to be the girl, like that would have been like more believable to me. But yeah, that was always a big problem with the movie to me. Like, why is he obsessing over her so much? He could have anybody on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like, crazy.
Yeah, billionaire. He's got an invisibility suit in a Tony Stark mansion. This guy has options.
Yeah, he's got a hell of a jawline. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Look at that guy.
He's having problems with ladies. Come on now.
No, he's going to give up his billions to go chase Elizabeth Moss, the secretary from Mad Men. That's the billions they're spent on.
Yeah. So, go check all that out, guys. And maybe we'll get back on stream some other time.
Yeah, I'll be down for that. It's just fun.
Especially when that Snyder Cut rolls around. I'm probably going to do a marathon that day. I'm going to marathon through like Man of Steel and BVS. I'll be streaming like all day, and then Snyder Cut's going to drop, and I'll probably like watch it live on the channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a good way to come full circle on the channel from like 4 years.
On that much DC at once.
I know, right? I'm going to
DC to death.
going to have a lot of bathroom breaks. It's like 10 hours of movie right there. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. Bye-bye.
Later.